you have a player like Classic when he transitioned from Brute War, from playing Terran in Brute War to playing Protoss in StarCraft 2. But now he's playing Protoss in SEL Brute War as well, so who knows. Regardless! Oh.
Yeah, regardless. Take it away, Bobby, take it away.
Regardless, we're going to be kicking off the first map, the first game of our best of 3 decider match, our final series of the evening. And we're kicking it off here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way. And in the bottom left, we have our teal Terran player. No, apparently teal, but looks a bit more mint or cyan or aquamarine to me. Player, ooh, getting proxied over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map are from the land of Poland, currently teamless. He's going to be playing with the Brute War kit. He is Spirit.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, as you mentioned, proxying dead center of Citadel. It is the STC.
This is how you proxy.
Oh yeah.
Player map.
Yes. This is a very common proxy location. If you are to proxy on a 4-player spawn map, it has to be in the dead center to try to react and respond as quickly as possible to where exactly your opponent is spawning in. As a reminder, neither the STC or Spirit know where their opponent is. Meanwhile, we do see Spirit actually going for a CC first build. CC first, later racks here for Spirit. Very greedy build from our teal Terran player. From the side of our red Terran, this should not be a surprise. If you recall this series against 3-Point, the STC went for mainly aggression and all-ins. He was hyper aggressive against 3-Point, and that continues here against Spirit.
And the STC, fortunately enough for him, is able to immediately scout Spirit's location as well. That's why you always go clockwise. Never lets you down.
There you go. So the STC is fully aware of what's going on. The Reaper production has begun. It's going to be a factory follow-up for the STC. The factory is back at home, actually, not proxied across the map. But the Reaper has arrived, and now the SCVs are under fire.
And no Marines just yet. Again, this is a very economic build coming out from Spirit.
Oh,
No, what is it?
oh.
The enemy.
Oh my god. I mean, this makes sense. Yeah, making use of the high ground here, making use of that hill.
Yeah, is it just me, Light, or does the animation speed up a little bit when they go down, when they go downhill?
Yeah, I mean, it's the momentum.
Yeah, momentum, yeah.
There you go.
It's physics.
As more Reapers have arrived, meanwhile, the SEC going for a proxy Starport. Starport is right outside here, can go for a proxy Liberator. Meanwhile, Rum Reaper does barely go down. Nice control of the Spirit.
Yeah, going to be able to keep most of his economy alive. As a reminder, StarCraft 1 SCVs are quite a bit beefier than StarCraft 2 SCVs. They have 60 health as opposed to the 45 that we have in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, so Spirit, he's holding on. Bunker is on the way. The Vulture has arrived. Meanwhile, we have confirmation it's going to be Proxy Liberator out of the STC, and he is going into Reactor Cyclone production, as this is, of course, not on the PTR, so you can still reactor out those Cyclones.
Oof. Yeah, gonna be an interesting interaction to see Cyclones versus Vultures.
We shall see as they are on the way. Liberator has arrived. The STC is expanding, so it's not a one-base all-in. It is still very aggressive, very committed out of the STC, as he is down in workers, and he's going to be falling further behind in the economy because he's still on one base. Liberator is zoned back, and so far, Spirit, he's holding well.
Yeah, hasn't lost a single SCV. So we lost traded 1 Marine for 1 Reaper, now 2 Reapers. Now 3 Reapers. Well worth it.
Yeah, siege mode is done. The tank does siege here at the natural for Spirit. He's holding on. Marines, they respond to the Liberator. Liberator does deny mining here on one of those patches. Actually denying it on 3 patches even, so not bad.
Yeah, this is kind of a weakness of StarCraft 1, Terran. It's your limited access to anti-air in the early game. So Marines can kill the Liberator, but they're gonna... a lot of them are gonna die. All of them are gonna die. Not all of them. Most of them. Yeah. No, some of them. They camouflage really well with the SCVs.
Yeah, they do trade here with the Liberator. Liberator goes down. Meanwhile, we have confirmation. It shouldn't be a surprise here based on how Spirit has been playing so far tonight. It is Mech. It's going to be Mech from the Terran.
Yeah, it's pretty good, not gonna lie. Especially when you know you have to deal with a lot of when you have to deal with a lot of air harass. He's getting that safety guardian, and he's also getting guardian range. Did I say safety guardian? I meant to say safety Goliath and Goliath range.
There we go. I mean, they are going to
Guardians with a range update. That would be terrifying.
It is going to be the Guardian here. Spirit as well. The Liberator barely survives on 5 HP. Oh, sorry, 6 HP. Oh my god, barely does make it out. Behind this, we have a Wraith on the way that will help when it comes to dealing with these Liberators and shutting them down. Meanwhile, from the side of the SEC, he rushes into a fast third base. Makes sense because he's behind in workers and behind in economy, and he's going into Biotank.
Yeah. And it's a map control, so I'll make use of it while it can. I forget what how the old Cyclone animation looked like. They do go quite fast. Oh. They shoot fast, I should say.
Yeah.
Nice juggling.
Oh my god. Yeah, does juggle quite well here. The medevac barely survives, barely gets out.
Yeah, no, just a medevac. Both Cyclones as well. One of them was one shot away from going down.
Does escape. Meanwhile, here towards the south, we do have the Wraith keeping up with the Liberator. Liberator going to be chased down as well. So nice defense here by Spirit as he is building up. Third CC's on the way, and Spirit will soon expand, will soon try to break out. We'll see if the STC can keep up with him, though, as he's likewise still just building up his production and getting to his own bio.
Yeah, we had a bit of an explosive start here thanks to the STC, but now we're going to be slowing things down a little bit and actually get into our macro game. Actually get to appreciate some of the ASMR ambient noises from the map.
Yeah. Here we go, whether it's the lightning strikes, whether it's the thunder, the rain as well. I can't quite recall that. Did we have an SC2 map with rain like this?
Yeah. We've had a few. One of them was in 2017. It was a map that I wasn't too fond of. It was like a black tile map, and then there was some like glowing stuff for the aesthetics. It was a 2-player map, but it was a large one. Okay. Not sequencer. Maybe it was sequencer? No, it wasn't sequencer. It was I think sequencer was a little bit later. Okay, so we have had some rainy maps in the past. Yeah. We also had one that was like oh, well, it wasn't really raining so much as it was drizzling. Never mind. I was going to say there was one, like, tropical-ish map. It's like a rainforest-type map, but it didn't come down like this, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, Acolyte! That's the map I was thinking of. Acolyte had rain. There you go. That was the 2017 map.
As Spirit, he does defend against the drop. Finally, the medevac is going to go down. Spirit will hunt it down. Meanwhile, the SSC is pushing out towards the third base. There's actually not much to defend here. There's only 2 tanks for Spirit. Oh. Also, that's a really weird angle for the tank. Do you see? It was like a Spider-Man. He was like clinging against the wall, like almost vertically. Jesus.
Yeah. You just gotta stick on, you know, it had Velcro attached.
True.
Like tape, glue attached to the legs. Yeah, this mineral line very threatened. Finally, Spirit will be able to clean it up, but we do get a couple of SCV kills for the STC.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 SCVs, but Spirit, he does hold, doesn't lose too many workers whatsoever. The SEC did throw away quite a bit of supply in doing so here, and he has yet to fully recover. Spirit, he is once again now securing himself that much harder here at the third.
Yeah, the mech production is really starting to kick off, or it's really starting to reach its not quite final form, but you know, the form where it just keeps coming and doesn't stop coming, and we have so many tanks to act as a massive defensive line. You know what's better than a wall? A wall that hits back.
Oh yeah, that's what Spirit's working on. I do think that the SEC eventually he's gonna need to get into. I was gonna say into ghost production, but I was thinking of the lockdowns of Brood Wars. The tanks they get caught unsieged. Oh my god.
Actually, interference matrix wouldn't be a terrible idea. But yeah, the tanks are on siege, and so the Marauders do have a much easier time taking them out. Well, yeah, the SEC just going for a Marine Bomb.
I mean, these are very efficient trades here. He's killed like, what, 6, 7 tanks? I mean, Spirit he holds, but he lost most of his tank count here, cutting down to 4 only. So very nice trades by the STC. He does bleed out his army, but he does trade well.
Yeah, the SCC's units are a lot more expendable. These are bio units, Marines especially. You can't sacrifice them if you're going to be able to kill that many tanks. 6 tanks overall. Now, it costs a lot more for Spirit to rebuild than it costs for the SCC to rebuild, as even if that wasn't an efficient trade, even if that trade went a little bit more in Spirit's favor, the SCC is still getting map control out of this. He's still going up to 4 bases. Spirit only now starting to land his 4th. And it's looking uber vulnerable.
Yeah, it's a very exposed 4th base. We do see Spirit vying for map control, though. He's zoning away those medevacs. Ooh, takes out a full medevac as well with those raids. Another medevac falls. Jesus, their anti-air is insane. Oh my god.
Yeah, the anti-ground, not great, but the anti-air, absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I mean, they're
the other way around.
They're putting Vikings to shame, which is crazy because like we still have Valkyries as well, which is like a more dedicated anti-air unit for
better
Spirit.
Yeah, they have splash damage
too.
You know, Wraiths. We keep thinking that they're like Banshees but better, but really they're like Liberators but better.
They're just everything. That's crazy. But
it's like the Wraith was too powerful, so they had to split it into 3 units for StarCraft 2.
Oh my god. All 3. As we do see Spirit, he's once again being active, this time with his Vultures. We do see the Planetary's not done. Uh-oh.
Yeah, these SCVs are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the entire mineral line going to be going down. It's going to be 10 SCV kills. The Planetary finally does complete. The ground army does respond. The SCC he will hold, but he still will lose almost an entire mineral line as he goes into another base.
Yeah, this time no Planetary in production. So these SCVs are more vulnerable than they previously would be.
Okay.
Vultures, man, they're speedy, they're fast.
They are 24 SCV kills, massive damage here across the map. At the same time, the SCC dropping into the main camp, but the production does catch a couple of Vultures, not too bad, but the main army does respond, and Spirit he should be able to hold.
Yeah, the SCC gonna get cleaned up here, but does bring a lot of army back. When it's all said and done, I'm not gonna lie, Light, I feel like this was better for the SCC to lose those 24 workers, because as you can see, he's still on 70. If he had 94 workers, it would start cutting into his army, and he is the player with mules.
I did not realize that it had such a high worker count. He has so many SCVs. Oh my god, it's crazy. As he does stim on 4, the army barely out of position as it was dragged into the main, and the SCV does go for the middle line here at the 3rd base, does get 13 SCVs, and trades against the Goliaths.
Yeah, I was gonna say this bio army is trapped, but it's still gonna go down and get cleaned up, but it's gonna trade so well against the mech army of Spirit.
Yeah, the Marauders, they put in a lot of work. Meanwhile, triple drop towards left-hand side. Oh, there are turrets in position. 1 medevac goes down. The other will unload, and looks like 1 tank falls. A couple of SCVs as well. This drop shouldn't be as effective here, and Spirit was going to be able to clean that up, but at least he's been kept busy once again.
Yeah, and also you gotta keep in mind, Spirit losing SCVs hurts a lot more than the SCC losing SCVs, because Spirit doesn't have mules.
It is awkward saying, like, the SCC and SCV one after the other.
Yeah. The SCC playing in the Sparkling Tuna Cup has lost the SCV. Yeah.
Let's go. But
how deep do we want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, triple drop here towards the southern base. This time, the Spirit is actually keeping up. He does force back the army, takes out all the medics. Oh my god. Not the most efficient trade this time here from the STC.
Yeah, much tighter defense here coming out from Spirit, but still losing SCVs.
Yeah, Liberator gets across the map, it gets onto the 4th base, denies more workers, 10 SCV kills, but here we go, Spirit for the first time, he's moving out!
And that's a very potent army, this time with a lot of Goliaths, so anti-air's not exactly a problem for Spirit right now.
It does attempt to move out. Once again, though, we have more drop play out of the STC, so Spirit, he has to respect it, he has to fall back. Oh my god, that is the field of mines, though.
Yeah, and they're not quite getting activated yet. No anti-air in position though, so a little bit easier for the SEC to just pick up and leave. Vultures throwing down some mines. Gonna connect.
Yeah, and we do see the main army is going to be cleaned up. Spirit, he
Right.
breaks through. He's pushing towards that planetary.
I think chat mentioned this earlier on, but workers actually don't trigger spider mines.
Yeah. The way you know.
Yeah. Well, you know. So yeah, there was no risk whatsoever with there, but there was a huge risk of that planetary falling, as like so. Spirit now just asserting himself on the map with his massive tank count.
Exactly, like as we mentioned before, finally he's moving up. Finally, Spirit is attacking, takes down the base. At the same time, the STC going for a big counterattack, getting more SCVs and trying to catch some reinforcements.
The Goliaths. The Goliaths are vulnerable to the Marauders, and without the Goliaths, these Liberators just have free reign on top of the tanks.
Yeah, Libs are trying to hold on. Another mineral line going to be going down. The STC losing most of his economy, but at the same time across the map, he will find another expansion as well. Both players are trading. And who does this favor in the end? Spirit, he still has a massive army supply though.
Yeah, you gotta favor Spirit at this point, right? I mean, just look at the supply. It's not lying. Heavily in favor in Spirit, and he just has a much tougher army.
Yeah, we have two Wraiths going ham towards the top right. No anti-air, so they're killing every single SCV. Meanwhile, the main army pushing forward. Massive tank shots going off, and it looks like Spirit, he's overwhelming. He's snowballing out of control.
Yeah, I think this is just about game. We're going to see one final hurrah here from the STC with this drop, but I think he knows the writing's on the wall. GG is called, and Spirit, you've been taking game number 1. Honestly, like, things are looking terrifying from him. I mean, the SCC was really able to flex his maneuverability, his drop play, and it really felt like it was bullying him into a corner for most of that game. But once that production kicked in, Spirit, once he was able to assert himself on the map, he was just unchained. There was no limit to how far he could go there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the SSC, he was doing a lot of economic damage, which was really cool. At the same time, towards the end, he was bleeding out a lot of his supply in doing so. So he was trading all the supply for some workers, and Spirit was slowly building up his army, right? He was building up his death bull of a mecha army with his Goliaths, his vultures, his tanks as well. The mecha army is a little bit cheaper as well compared to a regular SC2 mecha army, and yeah, Spirit, he was able to eventually break out and overwhelm. Once he started pushing, he did not stop. Yeah, he could not be stopped by the STC.
You know what the problem there was? The STC didn't have lockdown.
True.
He's playing StarCraft 2 Terran, so...
Yeah, we'll see if he embraces the Brood War Terran here instead, as we're going to be loading in once again for the second time tonight into Monty Hall.
Indeed, we shall.
Yeah, and we'll see.
Pretty popular map tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it twice only, but sure. I mean, this time I'm sure Spirit is going to be a lot more familiar with it, and we'll have a bit of a cleaner start as we're settling in.
Yeah, over here. For game number 2 of our best of 3 decider TvT. Over here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right, we of course have our red StarCraft 2 Terran player. Once again, we have a little bit of a returning legend coming in here for SEL, typically known more as a content creator and more as a commentator, but now dipping his toes into competitive waters. We have, from the land of South Korea, the STC.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player from the land of Poland, leading the series 1-0, 1 game away from making it into the playoffs. It is Spirit.
Absolutely the underdog coming into today's group as a whole. But now he's just 1 game away, 1 map away from advancing and securing his spot into the playoffs.
Yeah, and we'll see what the aggression is this time from the SEC, because we see double gas opener out of the SEC. This time, once again, the SEC is rocking the SE2 Terran race. With double gas, that leads into a faster factory, that leads into potentially one base play as well. So we'll see where this takes us. We'll see if this leads into, once again, Proxy Liberator, which we saw previously, or something more sinister.
Oh, I like how you put it. Something sinister.
Yes. I mean, we were talking about the SEC earlier, but he wasn't just going for all-ins against against 3-point. He was doing the same against Skillus, if you recall, as well, with his tank pushes, with his hyper-aggression. The SCV does move out for the STC, and it looks like he is going for the scout, but there's a Marine in position!
Yeah. This SCV ain't gonna be seeing nothing.
Oh.
Doesn't even get the gold. Coward.
But there is a second SCV here in the center of the... There's a second SCV here in the center of the map. With that second SCV, there it is. Proxy Starport once again.
Now we'll keep our eyes peeled as to what the production's going to be looking like. That's a reacted factory. And the Hellions are now out. It takes quite a few Hellions, I have to say, in order to kill a StarCraft 1 SCV. But hey, I think 4 Hellions, is that enough?
I think it's 3 one-shots, sir. I think 4 is going to be more than enough, and I think there's going to be what I would imagine a Hellion drop with Proxy Medevac.
I mean, you have to keep in mind that it takes more Hellions to one-shot SC1 SCVs.
Oh, true.
SC2.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but there it is. The Proxy Medevac is upon us, as we did mention. The Hellions are going to be amassing as well, so very aggressive build here, very committed by the SCC. The SCC has heavily delayed his expansion in favor of this, and we'll see if it's worth it.
Yeah, if you can roast the mineral line, well worth it. If not, not worth it. And once again, coming out from Spirit here, avoids taking the gold mineral. Mining out the gold mineral.
Yeah, he does avoid it. Does expand on the right hand side instead. He is embracing mech. We do have vultures in production. Meanwhile, here comes that Hellion drop, and now we're going to be able to see that dynamic. That's Hellion v Vulture.
Hey, vultures are just better.
They are.
So,
As the medevac boosts in, it gets spotted by the Overlord. Oh, we're ready for it. Oh my god,
the vulture's immediately able to corner them.
Jesus.
Getting a little bit of flashbacks to Spirit versus Skillus on this map.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this opening just got completely deflected.
Well, it's not just that, it's like the Hellions, the vultures, they're so fast. They're so quick. They put the Hellions to shame, mate. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens, right? When you're levitating, when you're using maglev, when you're hovering, and you don't have to deal with friction. Why are you still using wheels, Hellions? That's what I want to know.
Why are you not using magnets?
We have the technology.
Huh?
Use the magnets. Hover.
Like the vultures, they're like bullet trains. So they just zoom. It's crazy.
Yeah. They have that electricity. One Hellion already going down, and now the medevac. It's gonna get zoned away by the Goliaths, so, yeah.
I mean, thankfully, there is a now Liberator here. It does deny some mining at the natural. Meanwhile, drop into the main base mineral line. Spirit, can he react in time here? Some of the SCVs getting low. With the Vultures, they will be able to engage. 2 SCV kills in total. The Hellions are cleaned up. The Liberator gets zoned back, and Spirit defends. Oh, he has no vision! Up! Oh, he does. Never mind.
Oh, well. Yeah. It's a little bit of a very narrow dead air positioning over here with these blockers, so one misclick and that's all it, or one miscalculation rather, is all it really takes. C-Shank putting in work, but really good spread here from Spirit. Avoids most of the splash damage.
Does avoid the splash damage there. I mean, the SEC gets cleaned up. He does have another reinforcing tank. I mean, as we can see here, these mountain ranges are quite narrow. They're quite slim, so tanks, they can try to shoot over the wall here upon the army, and the SEC is trying to gain ground. He's trying to recover and trying to make up for his otherwise rough opening.
Yeah, he needs something to go his way right now, and, you know, with this, both the tank and the Liberator, I think that can absolutely be arranged.
Yeah, we'll see if we can bring it all together here. The turret is going to be denied. The tank does siege up. Ooh, and the SC does have vision. Up!
medevac could be providing a lot of vision. Over here! But not before being taken out by the Goliaths.
Yeah, it does go down. We do have the Wraith here in position. Can't quite get on top of the tank, though, as the Marines are there to zone it away. Second tank has arrived, but you can see our Spirit, he is within range of the Marines.
Yeah, that Wraith providing a lot of vision. That scan, we know for a fact that that's the STC scan.
No, yeah, true.
Spirit just doesn't have comp stations.
You know, scans are pretty good, Yaku. Even if Spirit wins this game, I want to make sure people understand that like there's no reason not to get a comm station. I mean, what's going on? What's happening?
Yeah, they're pretty cheap.
Yeah,
they're pretty cheap.
He heard you.
He heard us. He knows.
Let's go. For the first time in today's broadcast, before the 4th base gets thrown down, Spirit, he's getting a comstat station. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was reminded. He was reminded of the ability to scan by the SCC. He's like, what is this floating circle that's spinning around? It's like, right, scans. Is it possible to learn this power?
This entire time he was thinking, mate, SC2 Terran is broken. They can scan. Oh my god. Like, what the hell? What am I meant to do? True. Now he knows.
Yeah, he has the technology.
Does have the technology.
Still a little bit of a misfire.
Only one comstat station, though. Only one.
That's all you need. A little bit of misfire here, the mistargeting on that refinery, but it is being rectified, thankfully.
Yeah, he just wants the refinery to know who's boss. It's fine. It's just putting it in his place.
Assert his dominance.
Yeah. It's like, next time I show up, I want you to be a high yield gas geyser, okay?
Yeah.
Oh no. As we do see the SCC scans, he does get eyes on the 3rd base location.
And okay, Liberator just barely in range of a couple of these patches, but so are the Wraiths.
Yeah, the Wraiths, they respond, they can hunt the Liberator down. Likewise, the SEC embracing a biocomposition into stim, into combat shields. Mass expanding as well, getting to his 4th base, so he's trying to get the economic advantage of his opponents, but again, it was a rougher start. It was a worse start for the SEC. I do like this, though. He's throwing down some sensor towers across the map.
Yeah, might as well make use of them. Sure, both Terran eras have scan, but only StarCraft 2 has a minimap scan.
True. Yeah, sensor tower not available here to Spirit, so the SEC can take advantage of that. He's going to be pushing through the center of the map as well, setting up his own spotter depot to deny any kind of expansion. Likewise, Spirit also pushing on the right-hand side, but there is actually no way into the bases there from the side of Spirit. He can't really threaten the economy of the SEC.
He can't mule it. You know, there's a lot of things that I feel are just flat out better for StarCraft 1 Terran. But mules, that's the one thing that's way better in StarCraft 2 and makes it all... It's a worthwhile trade, I would say.
There you go, as we do see the SC going for a triple drop here across the map. He does get on top of the cliff face here, and he can lay siege upon the mineral line.
You love to see it. Scan does get thrown down, and that provides quite a lot of vision, but nothing is in range of that tank right now until the Wraiths showed up.
Yeah, the Wraiths rock up. Spirit, he defends.
Yeah, doesn't lose much of anything.
Yeah, only 3 SCVs. He mainly lost Vultures, but Vultures, I mean, they're expendable. They're quite cheap, so we can afford those trades. Meanwhile, the SEC going for another triple drop towards the left-hand side instead.
Yeah, why do you think they're so fast? It's because we replace them every time.
Yeah, they're empty. They're lightweight.
They're empty inside.
As the double jump is going to be distracting at the same time, coming in between the bases.
Yeah, the Goliaths weren't in position here to really deal with the medevacs. Tanks gonna finally clean up this army, but not before all of them go down. That was a very worthwhile trade here for the SCC.
Yeah, again, the SEC was able to distract Spirit by dropping at the 3rd, at the same time pushing in between the natural and the main. I was able to shut down like 3 or 4 tanks there, so very nicely done by the SEC. once again, as he distracts, we do have another army pushing on the right-hand side, so he's just continuing to try to pull Spirit apart, and so far has been relatively successful, as long as he doesn't walk into the minefield. Oh no! Oh my god. Oof.
You were saying?
He has the power of scan, he's okay.
Yeah, he has the technology.
There we go, he does scan. We can see Spirit expanding in the center of the map, and we could be here for a while, by the way. We haven't really seen too much late game on Monty Hall, but both players, they're building up towards a 4-race economy, and they're looking to max out.
Oh boy. Yeah, I do find it a little bit, I was going to say a little bit ironic, but it's the opposite of that. It's sensible that the player who doesn't have access to lockdown is opting for bio as opposed to
True, you're not wrong here, as we do see Spirit, he defends the center location. Massive mine shots on the Marine Marauder, as SEC, he did phase check earlier. Likewise, on the right-hand side, he's trying to gain some value getting into the middle line, but for the most part, Spirit, he is holding, he is defending.
Yeah, very similar situation to game number 1 here. Just a very slow build-up coming out here from Spirit. Slowly but surely going to be expanding further and further and further, and then all he really needs to do is defend here. He knows that the name of the game right now for the SEC is he wants to throw army at Spirit until eventually he breaks him.
Yeah, that's the goal at least, and it wasn't quite able to work out in game 1. We'll see if it works here in game 2. Meanwhile, Spirit, he is not just turtling, he's taking. What is he taking into? BCs.
StarCraft 1 BCs!
Yeah!
Oh. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of StarCraft 1 BCs. They don't have teleport, I don't think. And
no.
I don't remember if they have Yamato, but their attack...
Yeah.
They do have Yamato, okay. Their attack a little bit slower than StarCraft 2 attack, but the impact, it just... we heard a little bit of it from the race. It goes, pew! You know?
Yeah,
it sounds like that, but louder and deeper, and it actually does damage.
Oh yeah, as the BC does have to respond, does have to reveal itself here to the drop, is going to be going ham here on the army. My favorite part of the battle cruiser, the beast, is the brutal one, is the pilot. I do appreciate it. Beautiful.
The accent?
Yes. It's amazing. As the SCV does go right down mid.
Right into spider mines and tanks, and now some VCs as well. I do like this from the SCC. He's identified that he's up against a mech composition, so he's getting a couple of Ravens.
The Ravens are on the way, but I think he's just poked the bear, and it looks like finally Spirit, he has been triggered. He's going for a massive counterattack.
I'm going to try to keep on Spirit's vision so I can hear the battle cruiser accent.
I don't know if we're going to hear them.
Yeah, the bear has been poked a little bit.
Yeah, and here we go. He does push through. Oh, massive tank shots going up, and the SSC, he's in trouble.
Yeah, I feel like overall that was probably a better... based on the numbers, that went more in the SEC's favor, but now Spirit has so much momentum. He's pushing on forward. BC goes down.
One BC goes down. The other BC also going to be going down as well. Just barely. It is so low, but the ground army is still looking terrifying. 18 SCVs do fall, and Spirit, he's trying to go for the kill here and now.
And oh my god. He's killing. He's absolutely killing right now. Marine Bomb trying to clean out the tanks, but the Goliaths pop in just in the nick of time to really deter the medevacs. 20 SCVs go down here from Spirit, and he's going to lose his base as well. Thankfully, he has plenty of other bases.
Exactly. He does have more bases. Spirit, sorry, the SSC does have an economy, but what about the army? What about the production? That's what I'm most concerned by here as Spirit, he takes down the center expansion, and does he keep pushing?
He doesn't have to. I believe he scanned the other bases, so I think the safe option right now would be to rotate and try to take out the rest of the economy.
Get out.
But he's got options.
Yeah, he does have options. He could rotate, but for now, he is pushing. He's continuing here his move out. And I mean, he's so close to the production. If he steps one step closer here, if he gets up with the production, that's going to be game.
Thanks. Yeah, takes a couple of volleys off on these Marauders. Marauders are honestly a terrifying unit to face right now if you are Spirit.
Not wrong.
Deals so much bonus damage to everything.
You can also see the SSC is setting up a surround. He has an army behind the forces here of Spirit. He's coming in with the Liberators, coming in with the Marauders, and he should clean this up.
Like so, even avoids the spider mines. Should have rotated.
Yeah, nice skin up there by the STC. He does hold on. I don't blame Spirit. He was so close to killing the STC if he did get into the main. But with that, he does force him back. Alas, Spirit, his economy has been untouched. Unlike the STC, who's been losing bases and losing mineral lines, Spirit, he is able to maintain himself, just focusing on purely tank Goliath production.
Yeah, he's on 80 workers, and he's been on 80 workers for quite a while. We're getting more BCs! You'll love to see it.
Let's go, making 2 BCs at a time. I do still favor Spirit here. He still has momentum. Doom Drop is moving up, but he's getting caught out. Oh, no! Oh, barely not caught out, though.
No vision! No vision!
No scan.
No scan was available there for Spirit, and now he has to pivot and rotate really quickly.
And again, rotating on this map takes so long because you have to go back home. You have to go all the way back home to actually get into another lane. So with that, 6 SCVs do fall. We have the SC pushing through the center as well. The tanks are left exposed.
Yeah, brilliant concaves coming out left and right here from the STC with his bio army. He's actually trading so well against the mech army of Spirit.
Yeah, Spirit caught with his pants down. It was pulled completely out of position. And finally, the SEC takes a really good fight, denies an expansion, gets a mineral line, takes down a lot of tanks, and he is recovering.
Yeah, he's now taking the worker lead, and with that, going to be taking a very strong economic income lead as well.
Yeah, he's hoping to here as he's going for another triple drop on the left-hand side. BCs are coming in, and they will spot this. They will confirm. But as we just mentioned, it takes so long for Spirit to try to rotate, and once again, he's out of position.
Yeah, he has no Yamato either.
Yeah, the BCs are being cleaned up. You can see the Goliaths are trying to rotate over, and that exposes the center base. Like, Spirit, he's not ready for this. He didn't leave anything behind.
And so the bio's just going to be streaming in. Spirit, man, he's dancing back and forth as quickly as he can, but this takes so long.
It does. It takes so long here to go back and forth between the center location, these center bases. I do think the Spirit, he has to calm down. He has to just calm things down. He has to leave some awesome supply back at home, but no, actually wants to push.
Yeah, or at the very least take out this base in the left-hand side here of the STC. It's not exactly a fresh mining base, but it's still a base that should be in Spirit's possession. That isn't.
Yeah, so Spirit, he should be able to deny this expansion. At the same time, we have a wall of turrets. It looks like finally Spirit, he does rally here towards the center of the map, and he will defend. Oh my god.
Yeah, the BCs. Pew, 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 pew.
As you're saying, they're like the heavier Wraith attack. Like the Wraith is like, it's like thinner. This one though, it has impact. Oh my god.
It's got some meat on its bones, you know.
Yeah, it does. As we do see the BCs, they drag the Vikings over the Goliaths. Vikings are all going to be cleaned up. At the same time, the expansion was shut down, so the STC will lose a planetary. Spirit is going to be the first to remax. The STC, despite having a pretty good worker count, he has lost a little bit too much supply too quickly. He is plummeting here in the supply.
And so here comes the counter push.
Yeah, here comes the move out, this time on the southern lane. This expansion is going to fall. It is an orbital, and it should go down.
Yeah, it's going to go down. And now we have a bit of a concave here coming out from Spirit on top of the army. I wanted to check to see if the SCC research interference matrix or not. He did, but I think when you're up against this much mech, it doesn't really make much of a difference.
Oh yeah. It's not even about the tanks anymore. It's about the mass Viking. Sorry, it's about the mass Goliath and Vulture. We can see the STC going for a base trade. He's pushing right through the center. A bit of a desperation move here out of the STC, and because he hasn't actually mined through most of these minerals, the mech army of the Spirit, he actually can't push into the main.
Yeah, I mean, well, back at home, he actually can't produce too many tanks because he's starving when it comes to gas. He has a lot of minerals, he has a massive mineral bank, but that's not the most important thing when you're playing mech.
Yeah, as the center base goes down for Spirits, but we can see the Goliaths, they're waddling in. They're breaking through into the main base. The tanks, I believe, cannot enter the main, but the Goliaths and Vultures can.
That they cannot, so it's really on Spirit right now to try to force the best possible location for a fight, try to bait these Fire units in tech raging. Goliaths are trying to retreat, but they can't. They're stuck.
They get trapped here at the wall. A very awkward fight for Spirit, but regardless, he defends back at home. GG gets called as the STC starves out, and Spirit will make it through Group C in second place.
And always, each and every day with these groups, we get a surprise, a pleasant surprise in depending on your perspective. But yeah, Spirit, the absolute underdog, the player who we really had no idea what his familiarity or what his form in SEL looked like. He was the only player in this group, I believe, who didn't sign up for a single SEL weekly. So a huge question mark was levied on top of Spirit, but in the end, was able to overcome it all, was able to win off the back of his Brood War Terran. He did manage to display proficiency with his SC2 Terran as well, but yeah, it was mostly his Brood War Terran that really brought him the victory over there. My heart goes out to the STC, not just because I know that he was very excited to play in this, but also because I know he's going to be roasted mercilessly by Kiwion
True.
after this. But yeah, GG. Huge congratulations coming out here to Spirit.
Yeah, GG, well played, Spirit. He does make it through. I'll be honest, I'm sure Spirit is surprised as well. He's like, oh my, really? He's like, that's great. I made it through. Okay, let's go. And especially after the start of the broadcast, I was very heavily leaning towards the SCC. You know, he had a good performance against 3 points. We saw that 3 point also had his way with Spirit earlier, so yeah, Spirit, he was an enigma coming into this, but he was able to flex his mech style, at least when it came to his Brood War play. Mech against Skillus, mech against the STC, played very, very well here, and I do think that there's definitely room for improvement for Spirit, but that really just makes it that much more terrifying. Like, hey, if he can
conversations earlier.
True. But if he can improve and get better, I mean, that means he's going to be that much more threatening for the playoff bracket.
Absolutely, man. I have to question now. I still think that Shin and 3 Point are the heavy favorites going into the playoffs, but now I have to question things a little bit, you know? Now I have to make some new predictions based on the performance so far.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how well our players can prepare coming into the playoffs. But again, for those that are curious, as we can see here on the bracket, 3 Point came out in first place. He was able to take down Spirit 2-1, took down the STC 2-1. Did drop a map though to some hyper aggression from the STC. Meanwhile, Spirit, he came back from the brink from the elimination match. Spirit, he was able to bounce back against Skillus and the STC to come out in second place.
Defying most of our expectations, I think. I mean, I would have imagined that if Spirit made it through to the playoffs, it would have been through the back of his StarCraft 2 Terran. I mean, he's an absolutely terrifying StarCraft 2 Terran player. He's, I would say, I mean, very easily top 3 in Europe, arguably number 2 after Clem. I think Hero Marine might want to dispute that a little bit, but he's a terrifying player. But in this case, I believe he played StarCraft 2 Terran once, at least in the series that he won. And the rest of the time, it was StarCraft 1 Terran. Yeah. So again, really impressive play here out of Spirit. We do look forward to seeing more of him in the playoffs. But with that will wrap up Group C, and there's still one more group ahead of us, one more group to come. That is, of course, Group D, and Group D is going to be featuring Dark, Ateshi, Honmono, and Uwu Thermal. Thermal, of course, notable here as he is the only player who's going to be playing random for StarCraft 2.
Oh, exactly. So it's going to be a very, very intense group. I do look forward to it, and that is going to be played out tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to be casting Group D. Today we just wrapped up here with Group C as well. What I will say though, and I do apologize to Yaku as well, because I know it's not at the best time. But tomorrow our plan is to cover the group stage earlier in the day, not necessarily in the evening like we have been so far. So if you're curious, when is the next cast on the CranKy Ducklings? When is Group D? Group D we are going to be casting in 11 hours.
11 hours?
Yes.
Math. Yeah.
In 11 hours time, we're going to be live here with a Group D. Again, our weekend is quite packed and quite, it is quite intense when it comes to our casting schedule. We are going to be going over the playoff bracket as well throughout the weekend, but it is going to be, once again, in that time slot instead, just because it's otherwise going to be clashing with Sparkling Tuna Cup and with the Wardy TV Monday. So yeah, it is going to be, again, an intense schedule. For those that enjoyed the broadcast, if you want to tune into more of us, you can follow us on all the social medias. And again, our next cast is going to be in 11 hours. And the day after that, we have StarCraft Evolution League, the playoffs, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well, alongside Wardy TV Monday, Picosro Monday, Alima League, November Finals, and many, many more events.
Yeah, stay tuned for those.
Do stay tuned. Otherwise, Yaku, thank you so much for joining me here for covering these groups of the SEL. I hope you've been enjoying yourself, Yaku, especially here. Like, we even got to see some newer maps as well.
Yeah, good to get back on the casting desk.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And any streaming plans, Yaku? Any streaming plans? Are you that much more tempted to play Brood War? To at least play through the campaign. Play through the campaign for the first time.
A little bit. I mean, again, I like those sound effects on the unit, so a little bit tempted, but I mean, it's daunting because I'm like, if I start streaming, then I have to commit to streaming all the way. I actually have to finish a game.
Yeah, you're like, if I start streaming, then I have to stream.
If I start, then I have to actually finish something. I can't just do 75% of it and then just stop and then come back years later and finally finish it, you know, because then there are people just want me to finish it there. So I don't have any plans so far, but if I ever, once I get over that and once I decide, once I'm able to actually commit to something for once in my life, I'll be over at twitch.tv/yakuzaku1. You can also follow me over on twitter.com at @EmporaYakuzaku, or the place where I'm trying to be more active at, Blue Sky, yakuzaku.bisky.social. You can also find me there. You can also find me at !Discord in the chat, which is, we'll bring you to the CranKy Ducklings Discord server, which is where you can find me, so you can find Light, so you can find everyone.
There you go. So yeah, you can follow Yaku over in his own personal channel. I do recommend it, as he will stream from time to time. I'm sure he will. Meanwhile, we of course are going to be live once again in 11 hours time. Of course, the playoffs are going to be over the weekend as well, so plenty of StarCraft Evolution here over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, I am comfortable saying this, we will be a part of the Home Story Cup broadcast. We'll most likely be involved as a side stream, as either a B or C stream, one or the other. So we are going to be a part of Home Story Cup. Likewise, we're also going to be a part of Cheeseadelphia as well, as Cheeseadelphia is going to be in the next couple of weeks. Of course, much love here to the NA region, the NA scene. Dolan is no longer a part of the CranKy Ducklings. He is looking, or he has found himself a yet to be announced team. So keep an eye out for those announcements.
For that.
For sure. But despite him no longer being a Duckling, he, once a Duckling, always a Duckling. And he is going to be at Cheeseadelphia, and we are going to be there to cheer him on. I'm sure not just Dolan, but many more NA players, potentially Miguelito, potentially Vindicta as well, also at Cheeseadelphia.
Yeah. I would say Patty Mac, but I'm not fully confident in guessing that, because who knows where he is in the world.
Yeah. Mr. Worldwide.
He's been getting around.
Yeah. Going to China, going over to the UK, right, for Epic Land as well. Yeah. He's been traversing the land.
Next he needs to go to Latin America.
True. Exactly. But yeah, so plenty of StarCraft to come here. And again, next week is also going to be the Alima League November Finals as well. We will also be, we are also the official English casters for Alima League, so we'll be involved in that. It's going to be a pretty intense end of the year for us. Very, very intense November and leading into December as well. So a lot of StarCraft.
A little bit of a lull in the third quarter. Yeah, in the third quarter of the year, but now coming into the fourth quarter. we're coming in full steam ahead.
Oh yeah, and also I'm happy announcing this as well. The Ducklings Showdown has been on hiatus for a couple of years. We did not have a Ducklings Showdown last year, but we will.
Or 2022, yeah.
Yeah, or 2022, but we will most likely have one at the end of 2024. We are still trying to confirm though. Once we get into December, that's when we're going to start reaching out to players and seeing if they are available to compete, and we'll be locking in the show matches for the end of the year.
Yeah, we have a date planned for when that's going to be, but again, the actual players we need to get to. We haven't confirmed who's going to be playing in it yet. So
exactly.
We have to reach out to them first.
Yeah, tentatively we have an idea of what we want to do and when we want to host it, but stay tuned. Eventually, keep an eye on our social medias. We will be announcing when that does come to pass. So yeah, plenty of StarCraft in the coming months. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I do apologize, I have not been able to stream on my own personal channel. I do stream over on light_VIP, and I believe my first stream back on the channel should be tomorrow, as I've been diligently working on setting up my new computer, my new PC, and it is almost ready to stream and to actually play some games.
Can actually run now.
Let's go.
That's frame rate, papi.
But yeah, with that, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. Again, our next broadcast is going to be in 11 hours time. And until then, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Yako, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
Try to see if you can guess the people.
I can guess them. Wait, who's on the wanted posters though? That's what I want. I need to squint.
It is them. Yeah.
Okay.
It is them.
I see.
The same ones.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. With that, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao. Happy ciao.
Hasta la vista, bella.